north. We've got multiple teams going to Military Islands, as I think they're anticipating a second military game going into this.
I mean, at this point, yeah, you just have to make the gamble. North, south, do I get tangled in military base? You know, if you're... See, this is the way it works for me. If I'm dropping military base, I'm like, all right, guys, loot quick, because the circle is going to Stalbert. That's the way it always happens anytime I go to military base. So you gotta prep for that coming through. Most of our teams really struggling, even the ones that are trying to long drop to make it up towards their normal loot locations. Rajah, I mean, even school is going to be rough to get to. About getting to that stage whenever the first circle is going to pop and see where the action's going to be going to. And I just hope it's nothing over towards the north.
Yeah, I mean, even if these teams were to take a long drop, get a car, drive up north, given the plane path, it is going to be a south circle, as it looks like we've got...
I do want to note, we do have rotations coming out from the military base. It's going to be Exodus that's opting into moving quite early and going to go ahead and opt across that bridge and stop out just to the west of where we see Elusive at.
Yeah, now taking another look at Radiance here, we saw both Radiance and Comets take that rotation from Elusive earlier on, and they have positioned each other across the street from one another. These are some very centralized compounds to the zone, but Comets, I think, in a slightly better position here. They are on the edge. It's going to make it a little bit easier to retreat. They could pull back to that coastline should they need additional coverage, but they're also going to have to really think about, what can I do as a player to improve my ability to play like an esports player? And that is going to come from vehicles and knowing how to rotate. So study these games well and take what you learn here into ranked, and I promise you guys will see yourselves climb very high.
All right, so one thing I did want to point out is that we're seeing a lot of action around Milta in the circle, which is, sure, it's kind of centered in the spot, but center feels like it's just a touch north of this position. And I think it's because we don't see a lot of teams really cluster around this point in Milta 2. How do we disengage from this if the circle goes away from us? Luckily, though, I think that it's not going to be too big of a deal given the way that we saw this first circle lay out. It should be pretty fine for everybody, and almost everybody that opted center should be okay. But back over towards the west, we have a lot of teams that are not inside the safe zone, which are going to be Fabled, Livid, and Dodge. So they're going to have to make a very dangerous cross as they're not even close to this position. I'm willing to bet the circle's going to come back over here.
Yeah, now as the Comets already in their vehicles, leaving that compound away from Radiance, trying to find their next spot, it looks like they are going to run into Oath, that is still here in mini power, as Yaxley first to run up ahead. Oath is actually leaving for their next rotation, trying to go just a little bit up to the hills as they try to push slightly more center to where this zone will most likely go. But we're, again, holding on to the East Coast. So many of our teams drop to the west as they continue to push in. Get those.
Look at the next level mind games, making sure to protect their vehicle so that way nobody can get any of those tire pop stats. But oh, Taylor J backs up into the wrong neighborhood as he leaves that garage, and Reno gets a look back over towards him, gets a knock onto him. A lot of damage coming back over from the remaining members of Exodus. Remember, we saw one move up and forward, but he is now bumped into 303. This is the worst timing that could possibly happen for Exodus. They're on full-on damage control from this point. Venerated does manage to get back over there, getting them meds up. Looks like they're managing to hold the angle, are protecting Taylor J, but that's the name of the game right now. They do not want to lose him this early. Now they have to look back over towards their teammate that's already moved, make sure that he's safe, and try to provide some type of cover for him because he is in a trouble spot as well.
Yeah, I mean, a really unfortunate position for Pat Caps, who tried to rotate north, caught off guard by 303. As we see Dodge now, I think, reading the situation. Fina is driving up, trying to get a shot onto this too. Somehow, however, he is still alive. We're still 4-man strong for Exodus, but this 2-2 split, I'm not quite sure what was happening. I think it fell apart before it could pop off, and it looks like, there we go, starting to now take that push into 303. They want that position. Venerated hanging back just a little bit longer, trying to hold on stronger. Do we have a Molotov in here? What happens?
Yeah, it looks like it is just a mess as grenades, Molotovs, anything that can be thrown is being thrown down that stairwell. And Exodus do manage to survive by getting away from the vehicles, but they're starting to take a ton of damage. This decides to make the push, and you can see slow rolling up those steps. Gonna have the information fed through. Are we gonna see Exodus get away with this? They walk in, do get a very first quick knock onto this. Step back around onto it. Do spot on another one. Landoon's gonna find himself in a lot of trouble as well. But finally, it's the back flush coming up from Lush himself, but doesn't matter. Lots of death coming out from Exodus as they get control over this area.
Yeah, we saw Lush jump out of the window, go out.
I think that they're just fine providing cover. Really just trying to make sure that Exodus doesn't get aggressive and decide to go on foot to the location where their other two members are at.
Yeah, and Exodus now inside the zone. As we can see real quickly to the left, total ranking right now in points and kills. Exodus with 11. They've picked up 3 for this game, 8 for last, and of course 10 points for that chicken dinner for game number 1. And that's going to keep them at the top of the rankings for right now, with Zenith and Dodge closely down behind. So with Dodge in 3rd place, 12 points, Finna and Monty may want to try to pick up some kills and stay alive in this a little bit longer, as we can see Reno trying to attract the attention of Exodus, give them a little bit of cover. This is going to be tricky now as well, as the hardships are starting to take a push into this area.
Hardships have an aggressive position back behind where we see Dodge playing this position from. Now Dodge has to be very careful. Anytime they go for a peek back over towards Exodus, they're going to have the hardships that are looking their way, and there you go. It's going to get Reno that gets spotted out and taken down. It's just a constant leapfrog of everybody trying to get away. Better point. So now it's just going to be a matter of how these teams that are playing back over towards the east continue to aggress back over towards our western teams, because west, it is so dangerous for them. You can see, look over here, we've got Wildcard, we've got Livid, we've got Comets, all posted up so close to each other and just caught up in this fight, and no real way to get away from it. Do note, we still have Sonics playing this hillside, looking down, taking shots on everything as they move. So anytime a fight breaks out down here, they're looking into it. Good shots coming out from Livid. Easy pickup to go for that flush as well. Now Comets have to figure out, how do they want to play this? They know that they're surrounded, and 2 different teams could choose to just walk up and start getting very aggressive right in their face at any moment.
Yeah, I mean, Fudge and Soup holding great position down onto the ridge. We can see with Soup and Fudge as well using some blown out cars for cover to provide where there wouldn't normally be some. But the Comets now trying to go wide, looking for a different angle, as D-Treats is... I'm actually not sure what it is that D-Treats is looking for, as he's trying to just get on the edge of zone. And, it's been spotted out by Soup, walked just past him. I think he had some misinformation about where Livid might have been.
While this is going on, new circle has popped. It's back over to the west of this position, so everybody needs to make their way back up to where Sonics are at. That's why Oath is just abandoning this position, trying to go a little bit more aggressive. Meanwhile, Honey Badger already has a read. Going to be able to spot out Fudge, depending on how aggressive Fudge tries to get with this. Soup is just trying to play a low ground, and yep, he gets quick spotted out by Honey Badger. That's going to be an easy pickup coming up for Wildcard. Now Soup has to figure out, what does he do? He's got Comets in front of him. He's got Wildcard after that. Then he's got Oath, and then he has the remnants of Sonics to follow that through. I think that it looks like Comets think that down and that flush was the last member up. So instead, going to step up, go for the flush onto one of them, tries to pick it up, but no! Instead, gonna get spotted out, but does do damage, as Victor is down and going to die to the blue zone.
I mean, we talked about it. You fall into the blue this late. There's no time for the res, but Livid quickly picked it right back up again, as there we go, losing both Victor and Sub-Zero. I mean, we talked as well about some of these rotations now. We've got to push into the elusive.
Yeah, Radiance has been kind of quiet, but you can see the continuing fight now happening with Oath, and it's going to be Wildcard on the other side of it. Peak battle back and forth, and it's going to be Oath's Balefrost that comes up on top. Should be able to run back over here and get a res for his teammates. Finally starting to see a conclusion to what's going on, but guess what? Radiance wants to get involved. They hear a fight happening, and they know they have strength in numbers, so they're starting to push back over. Luckily, Oath has themselves a good point to try to res from, but let's be real. Everybody knows if you're going to try to res, this would be the spot to go for. So Radiance could swoop in, really catch them off guard. Balefrost has to be very, very careful from here on out, as there's a lot of people tanking.
He needs to be careful, because just north of him is Zenith and Shoot to Kill. It is very busy on this part of the zone.
Poor Profi, all he wanted to do was get away from everything that was going on next to him, and there was just nowhere for him to be able to retreat through. Should be noted, Radiance is still looking back up to that position where Oath is at. They heard those shots coming through. So Oath is going to try to continue up and forward. But our boys from the last game that got second place is going to be Zenith, actually at the top of this hill, getting into a little bit of a fight with Shoot to Kill as well as Dodge. This is getting to be a very chaotic section of the map, and everybody is starting to rotate into that same point. So if Oath does even manage to get away from Radiance up at the top of the hill, they're going to have 2 different squads still waiting for him, and here we go. Looks like Oath trying to take a couple of shots back into him. Do manage to stall down Radiance just a bit, and that could be huge for them.
Yeah, I mean, Dodge really pushing in from the edge. So we've got Dodge, Shoot to Kill, Zenith, Oath, Radiance, all clustered in one area. We've got 10 teams, 5 of which are all right here, and it is the high ground right now for Oath. The Shoot to Kill just beyond that. We can see Balefrost spotting out Radiance. Batty Lull, however, is going to be the one to land damage first, as Waldo coming in for a push as well. And oof, This is going to be tricky. There is no way about it. Third-party central for all of these teams, but they are just going to have to power through as we continue to see Waldo go wide. Almost get taken out by... oh, no. It is actually going to be Balefrost that's taken out instead, as Oath is going to be eliminated into 9th place. 10th, excuse me. Clueless eliminated the exact same time going out in 9th.
Hatcaps creeping back over next to Free Me Please. Radiance is on the other side of this, so that's going to be very, very cautious. Free Me Please in a lot of trouble, instantly flushed out there. Actually, no, gets the flush back over towards Patcaps. My apologies on that. The remnants of Exodus looking back over, trying to figure out what's going on as Illusion is running this split where they have one member back behind, the other two kind of pushing a little bit further up that hillside, hoping that the high ground might help them. Another one walks right back down into Free Me Please's line of sight, gets dropped and quick flushed. 2 members down, just off a very sneaky position, but finally spot him out. Vegas goes down as well. Taylor Day on near on no life and has to leave out of this fight. Retreat back behind this. Little bit of a tree. Blue's coming back behind him, but Illusion knows exactly where he is. This is not going to be good for him. Look, Icy Flex going for a little bit of a flex out. Gonna spot him, and that's Exodus going out in 8.
Yeah, just a little too risky of a play there. Caught out by the blue, tried to pop off those heals, was able to stay alive a little bit longer than I expected. I was honestly anticipating a blue zone knock here, but as we see Ranger now getting flushed out, Icy Flex left to Flynn for himself here as Radiant starts to make the push down south, and Illusion continuing to hold this down as well. Houston Hardships, meanwhile, still up to the north with SDK. It is crowded here in the south as players continue to try and work their way up the hill. Icy Flex going out in 7th place as Illusion is eliminated.
So with this, Radiant's now trying to make it back over towards Waldo, go for the res onto it. They're going to have Elusive that's back over towards their west. That's the teal color right next to him. A little bit of a fight still happening around Lumberyard. Is going to be Shoot to Kill getting more and more control over it. And really, it's just these teams trying to creep up this hillside. But Elusive looks like they're trying to play back around the bottom part of the circle, with Innate looking back the direction of Radiance. I don't think that they've been spotted out, but Radiance has got to be back over towards them. Shots are going to come out from Elusive. Gonna spot out Los. Get a quick down back over towards him. Elusive Fizzle looks like he's going to try to go for a little bit of a defensive point. Make sure that nobody on the top of the hill is going to come back down for it. Spots out another one, getting a little bit of damage back over towards Batty Lol. Makes the switch back over. Is he going to see him? But no, it's just a continued push. It's going to be that cannon. Really blocking him out. I guess Mortar is the better term for getting more aggressive back towards Elusive position. JLD has to retreat just a bit, but it's going to be Innate that has the angle up to the side. JLD does a quick pop-up, gets another one down. Los is in a lot of trouble. He doesn't have a lot to work with, but look at the sneaky crawl-up coming out from Elusive, trying to get that flank off at any cost. Meanwhile, Los just sees the blue coming up next to him, trying to figure out how he's going to make this play. What angle can he move from? There's not a lot to work with. Just this little bit of a dip. Toss up a couple smokes, maybe see if he can get some armor out of the situation, but he is good as dead unless he can hit an angle on somebody. Blue's right up in front of him. Now he's going to have to move right along the smoke trail. Gonna try to get away from Elusive, but no, it's the trap is sprung. Comes up big for him. Now Elusive has to look back up to a very strong Shoot to Kill right up on top of this hill and knows exactly which way that they want to take their shots.
I mean, Shoot to Kill pushing into Elusive, but we still have Mystery alive for Zenith, who right now is lying a little bit low, trying to stay as late in the fight as he can, waiting for both of these teams to pick each other off, as we can see him right there, hanging off to the edge. But right now, as Fizzle starts to make that push, looking at Luke 12, look, 8 kills here for Shoot to Kill. They've got the high ground. They've got the strength. We can already see Luke go wide for rotation, trying to spot out and clean what he can on Elusive, as they're going to try to make a quick match of this.
Lot of control coming out from Shoot to Kill. The only thorn in their side is Mystery, who's hiding out. He's been very, very sneaky. Good grenade toss coming out from Purdy Cardi is going to take down Fizzle. Trying to get control over the end game. They just start to take every piece of territory away from the enemy team. It's a defensive line, just straight across it as another kill going back up for him, moving them up to 10 kills now. Got to be very careful. Mystery is going to get spotted out, and now they know they have anything that they want to work with. Spot him out, quick pickup, Shoot to Kill, walking away with 12 kills. They don't care that they had to rotate forever. They get themselves around with.
Yeah, I mean, Shoot to Kill held onto the